Too many good men are going into darkness. They seem to be going there more often and camping there too long. I think these good men need to be reminded that there is light. When I think about one walking into a room and it's pitch black. If we just simply light a match or a lighter, just a flicker, if that flicker is in the peripheral vision, you'll see it. I think if the opposite were done, if we could somehow totally light a room up and then have somehow a flicker of darkness, I'm not sure it had the same impact. My point is, light is more powerful than darkness. It doesn't take a lot. These men who are staying in darkness and losing hope, I sometimes wonder if they question their own worthiness, their own value, their own impact to the world, to the communities, to their families, to their sons and daughters. And what I would want to remind them is, don't question your value. You might be dark, you might be in a valley, but you got to keep going. Oftentimes, the darkest of moments and the deepest of valleys, just on the other side of that, are the brightest of moments and the highest of the mountaintops. But you don't quit, brother. A couple of things that we discussed this week in the Thumos community is we all seem to get into darkness at whatever level, at whatever frequency, but we got to be purposeful to combat that. So we talked about some tools, techniques, tips, tactics in order to stay out of the darkness. One of the things we talked about was just the importance of plugging in to source, to light source. It's almost like if I were to hold up a lamp and a power cord, if that power cord is plugged into source, you're good to go. But as soon as that man unplugs from the source, we got a problem. It's like there's almost like a battery pack on this thing. And if you stay away from source for too long, those batteries run down, there's just no more light to shine. So what do we do as men in order to stay charged, fully charged, or at least have some hint of light, some flicker at minimum, but better to have it full source? One of the things we do to stay charged and to stay lit up is we get alone. We recharge and get reconnected with ourselves. We find out, we slow down, and we figure out what's going on inside. We breathe, we pray, we meditate, we contemplate, we think, but more importantly, we learn to stop thinking or to think less, to give the mind these full minds of ours, which is one of the reasons I don't like the term mindfulness. Let's don't have a full mind all the time. Let's empty that mind, but to go inside. That's one way. Another way is to reconnect with the ultimate source, God himself. What do these men need to do? What do you need to do, brother, in order to reconnect with God himself? Is it prayer time? Is it quiet time? Is it contemplation? Is it meditation? What is it? Is it reading? Another way is to connect with other good people, other good men. I see so many men trying to do things alone, and I don't know how long it's going to take for men to figure out that you got to have a tribe. A lot of men, if they'll just stop and reflect, back in a time in their lives where they actually had another group of guys, a tribe, and maybe it wasn't even the best of influence at all. Maybe that was high school, maybe that was college, maybe that was in the military, but you had something in common. You probably shared some laughs together. Maybe you did some mischief and it wasn't all directed towards light, but you probably had more fun than you're having now, doing life in suburbs all alone. What happens if and when you go find a tribe of like-minded men that want to build each other up, that aren't necessarily talking about sports and the weather? Maybe there's some light talk about that. I don't have a whole lot of time for that. But what if these men were leaning in, if it was raw and real and supportive, and you talked about how to connect better with the wife, how to get your needs met and help her meet her needs? What if it's about showing up better for your kids and just leaning other men when you share problems and all? These other men lean in instead of running away, and they offer you care and answers, strategies and tactics, but they lean in, they don't run away. So my brothers, I guess the point to all this is there's several different ways to go find, rediscover, reclaim, and feed the light. one of the things we got to do is just pull out some of the darkness. That media, it's got to be shut off. It's got to be turned off. The old normal Fox News and whatever it is, I haven't listened to that stuff in over 20 years. It does not enter my TV screen. It does not enter my house. And on the occasional trip where I'm going through an airport and I see something, CNN, I'm blown away by how toxic it is. I'm reminded how that was one of the best things I ever could have done, is to just shut off the propaganda and the fear and the nonsense. No. I remember hearing about how bad years and years and years ago an area was, the people were, how you could get kidnapped, etc., going to a certain location in Mexico. And I ended up going there, and it was the most beautiful place with the most beautiful people. They were probably 10x slower than America, and therefore about 10x happier. This place, I'm sure not perfect, but it was, I would say, probably 10x safer than a major city in America. And I know it wasn't perfect, but at the end of the day, my point is, I learned to be careful. I learned to experience, careful about what I hear, and learn to experience things for myself, and to sort of have my own experience, think for myself, and form my own attitude. Doesn't mean I don't be smart. But I believe that part of this equation of finding more light is to turn off the darkness, or at least minimize it. Those are some thoughts that I have this morning on the concept of light. My friends, if you're out there and you're struggling, you don't have the light, you don't have the hope, think about ways that you can go get reconnected. Go outside, get you some sunshine. It's beautiful. A little bit on your skin, doesn't have to be a whole lot. Get you some quiet time, reconnect with God, with yourself. Find you a tribe, especially to the men out there. Find some good men that want to be better men, that are building each other up. Maybe that's in your church, maybe that's somewhere else. Dumos USA's got it. It's what we do. It's why I left corporate America. It's beautiful. These men, we're leveling up. I've never could have imagined it would be this good. Get your light. Take care.